Welcome to the continuation of Flight 2013. This is your captain speaking. We will be ascending to new spiritual heights today, so please make sure your attitude is in the upright position and all emotional baggage is stowed away in the divine compartments above your seat. In a few moments, our stewardess will be serving refreshments to the soul. We hope you enjoy this continuation of Flight 2013.
Fasten your seatbelt. Had a funny week this week. Had a funny day this morning. Let's just talk. Woke up. It's been a crazy week. Okay. Every once in a while I hit overload, and that last week was an overload. So I get up and I wash dishes and go take a nap. And I get up and back into the front room and go take a nap. And fix something to eat and go take a nap. So I slept for like 4 days. Got a big workshop coming on next Saturday, which is Healing Energy and Radiant Touch. And that is a healing workshop, how to heal. I'm going to offer, I'm going to show you a ton of modalities that I use that other people have created, and a bunch that have just been inspired. So it'll be really fun. If you're interested in doing that, I've taught it before, but there's things that I'm putting in this one that I haven't put in anything before. So that'll be really fun, really cool. It's an all-day workshop. I don't normally do all-day workshops, but this is an all-day workshop because I don't know, I'm just being guided to do things differently before I hit something with that. And anyway, so I've been working on that, worked all day on that yesterday. So about time to go to bed last night, I was like, I got nothing. I don't know what we're going to do at church tomorrow. I got nothing. So Bill says, well, how about if we do waffle? Okay. So I'll sleep on it. Slept on it, wake up in the middle of the night, look at the clock, and hey, no, still got nothing. Go back to sleep. Wake up again. Anything else? No, still got nothing. Go back to sleep. Woke up this morning and said, I can't even remember what you said last night, Bill. I got nothing. And he repeated what it was. Well, it's about the little things in life. I thought, oh, well, yeah, that could be really good. Didn't get that big whoop-de-doo feeling that I get. Because what happens is when I get that inspiration, it's like my heart space just goes. And all Bible verses that I've studied my whole life for, or whatever, just flood in, and I get this rush, and it's just awesome. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Whatever, still no rush. And I thought, well, okay, I got nothing. They've never let me down before. I've gotten as far as into services before, and then lightning bolts. So I thought, well, my job is to suit up, show up, and be willing to sit here and say, hey, I got nothing. But anyway, so I thought, well, I'll just look in Proverbs. I love Proverbs. It's just a really fun book. I know that sounds really odd for if you've been in a religion that beats you up with the Bible, but Proverbs is like kick. It's awesome. Go to Proverbs. It's so cool. And so I started reading some things in Proverbs, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. So heart broke open, and things flooded in. It was awesome. So it's like all of my life I have been preparing for this message. And so I am so delighted you're here today. I'm glad those people are tuning in, because today is really powerful. When my heart just opened and stuff floated in, it was just an incredible feeling. And if I can grant you just a taste of that, if I can assist you in finding just a smidgen of that, it'll be just wonderful. So Phil and I were chatting a little bit about what the little things might mean. And he made up a new word. It's a Philism. Trudgery. How sometimes if we got caught up in the little things, we just are involved in trudgery. So that's a combination of trudging through life with drudgery. It's trudgery. Have you ever felt like trudgery before? Yeah, absolutely. It's trudgery. But if we get caught up in the little things that make a difference, it's no longer drudgery, it's a joy, it's a delight. And how awesome he picked the song he just picked for us to play about everyday angels. Because everyday angels get the opportunity to do one little kind thing, to change somebody else's world all the way around. A kind word, a gentle thought, just a simple kindness can make a huge difference in somebody's life, don't you think? It's when we get caught up in the drudgery that life really gets to be sad and gets to be a heartache. So I want to share with you the Bible passages that came to me as I was looking. There's two. Good old Proverbs. You know, someday I'm just going to sit down and read Proverbs to you because it's, you know, some of these things are just amazing. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Pleasant words. Proverbs 16:24. Thank you for asking. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are a honeycomb. You ever had a honeycomb? Good stuff. Good stuff. We could probably liken it today to Hershey's Kiss. Sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. If we want healing in our lives, pleasant words, whether we speak them to someone else or they're spoken to us, are very healing. Not only do they heal relationships, but they heal us physically. We are blessed by that. Proverbs 25:11. I love this one. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken in the right circumstances. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken in right circumstances. When we say that little golden, precious thing to someone, we can turn a life around. We can shift their thinking, open their heart space. And that's when we become everyday angels. You know, when I was dating Phil, actually our first date, I was watching. Well, okay, let me give you background. Leaving a really bad marriage. Well, actually, it wasn't a bad marriage. It was just, I learned some really wonderful lessons that were very painful. And I'm really grateful for that experience. So with that said, moving on, I watched Phil to see how he treated a waitress. Some people who are really charming to waitresses and, gotta, schmooze them up, that's a little over the top. There's a little something hinky about that. But those that are kind and respectful, that's important. That's what I was looking for. If he treated this person as if they were slaves, he would treat me like that. So if this person had that genuine kindness that was a part of his personality, he was okay in my book. Well, you all know the story about how we met. And it's like, oh, this should be interesting. And it has been. But those kindness, those little acts of kindness are tiny little things. But when we have an act of kindness gifted to us, then our pool of resources is no longer empty. When we share a kindness, our pool of emotional resources is no longer empty. And when we can discover all the kindnesses that Spirit has for us, oh my gosh, then we have this huge pool from which we can share. How do we discern? How do we find the kindnesses that Spirit or God or higher power, whatever that is, gives to us? Have you ever asked for a sign about something? When you get a sign about something, it's like a oops, upside the head, psychic gate moment to know that Spirit loves you, that you're blessed. So what's a sign? What's some sort of a sign you've asked for and received? Maybe there's people who aren't using that particular spiritual tool. Who wants to share? I know you guys don't have one? Oh, I know you do, because I saw your head shaking up and down. I've asked for a sign. Okay, let me tell you my sign first. Before the church moved into this building, we had a little storefront, and Phil and I just felt compelled. We would find a building that we could buy. It would be ours, and we could have the things set up all the time, a playroom, all that stuff. And how many places did we look for, Phil? Dozens. We put an offer in on at least 10. And thank God we got none of them. We were always disappointed. Thank God we got none of them. And so the last one finally just fell through, and I said, okay, God, I need a sign. I'm ready to give up looking. I feel like have been compelled to look. I'm ready to give that up if that's what you would like me to do. If you want Phil and I just to be content where we are, we could do that. But I need a sign. Took a deep breath, got in my car, turned on the radio, driving down the road. So what did I hear? A song came on, never heard it before. It said, I won't give up if you won't give up. Could it be a sign? Maybe it's a sign. Next line of the song was, I won't give up if you won't give up. Oh, it might be a sign. Maybe it is a sign. Third line of the song, I won't give up if you won't give up. Okay, I think it could be a sign. The fourth time it said, I won't give up if you don't give up. I said, okay, it's a sign. I won't give up the search. We'll find what we're meant to have. We'll keep looking. And the song was Calling All Angels. Mm-hmm. So what did I do? I called angels. Angels, come help us. And I think an everyday angel, Lori and Daryl, happened to find this building for us and come and check it out and look at it for us. So when you call for angels to come and help, people show up in your life. And the key is to be open to seeing those little everyday angels and being aware of them in your life. And then when you receive that blessing, give a blessing to somebody else. Be willing to be somebody else's angel. My son came by yesterday, helped Phil put a motor back in his little electric car. And he said, I went over to my neighbor's house. The neighbor had given him 2 horses because they couldn't keep them anymore. So he took the horses off site. But anyway, for some reason he said he felt compelled to go over to the neighbor's house just to see how they were doing. I don't know what he thought he needed. But anyway, he was going to go run some errands, and he had his keys in his hand, got to the car, and he thought, no, I'm going to run over to the neighbor real fast. Ran over to the neighbor real fast and went to the door, and all of a sudden he heard, help, help me. He thought, hello? Help me. And so he looked over to the side of the house, and where are you? I'm down here. The guy, the owner of the house, had slipped and fallen, and a tank had fallen on him, pinned his arm and his leg. He couldn't get out. So he said, how long have you been laying there? And of course my son was like, wait, he's got some muscles. God sent just the right person at just the right time. Because they could have sent me like, I don't know, let me call 911. Anyway. So he lifted the tank off of him, and he said, how long have you been there? He said, I don't know, a couple of hours at least. I've been crying for help, and nobody heard me. And I said, God heard him. And God sent somebody just to him at just that right moment that he needed that help. So pay attention to those little things, those little nudges that you get. Because maybe it's just a kind word to somebody who's standing in line with you, and maybe that turns their day around. Maybe they'll say something kind to you that turns your day around. It's the little kindnesses. I think it's the Dalai Lama that said, kindness is the one true religion. Every religion, whatever your faith may be, kindness is a big key. Love and divine source, whatever that is for you, and expressing kindness. That's what it's all about. And not just expressing kindness to the people that deserve it, but being kind to just anyone, whether they deserve it or not. even the person that cuts you off, even the person that is rude to you. Give them a kindness. Their pool may be empty. And every drop that you put into their pool will multiply. Make sense? I'd like to take us on a little journey today. Guided meditation. And I want to do this before we do communion or anything. I want us just to get right to this. Can we do that? Or